Well, welcome to a special edition of Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains. I always say it's special, and I feel that it is, but this one is a little bit different. I'm here with Larry Hedrick today, and we decided we're just going to comment on some of the comments that we get about shows. And I guess that's where part of the mystery is, Larry, is some of the things that are said, it's like, did you watch the show? Did you watch it all the way through, or did you stop to make the comments? Because there's a lot of strange things. And, you know, a lot of people that claim that they know exactly where the mine is and they want to take us there. You probably have seen some of those where they say that. So we're going to go back and forth here and read some of the questions and the comments. And one of them in particular is, what is the stone cross map and does it lead to gold? And one of the comments, I'm sure the Jesuits got someone else to get the gold or silver and somehow got it from them. Well, I think we explained the history of that. Have we, about the Jesuits and how they took the gold and left because they were going to be replaced by the Franciscans down there because they weren't giving Spain or the king there his full 10% or the agreement that they had as far as the gold goes. So, I mean, you can fill in some of that too, but that's the story of the Jesuits. When we talk about the superstitions, we're talking about two different sets of gold up there. We're talking about the Peralta or the Dutchman's gold, and we're also talking about the Jesuit gold that Jones was up there looking for, you know, and that
church artifacts. Church artifacts.
Church artifacts. And do you have anything to say about that?
Well, there's really no hard evidence that ever took place. Now, that's part of the legend that Marie Celeste Jones was looking for Jesuit treasure at Weaver's Needle. She thought Weaver's Needle was hollow. And it was all hidden in there. Well, we know Weaver's Needle is not hollow. So what?
How do we know that, Larry? How do we know that?
So there's not a whole lot to that legend that you can verify.
Well, I don't know. I still think maybe it's hollow. Just, you know, I mean, wouldn't it be something if somebody did find that, well, there's a hollow space in there? And, you know, according to Killer Mountains, the guy found the gold, the Jesuit gold up there, according to a lot of the legends. But
Yeah.
I'm going to get to Killer Mountain in a bit. But the follow-up questions to the stone cross map and does it lead to gold? Here's one. His name's Perry, and I won't give the last name. But there is a mine up there against the base of the mountain behind the bushes, partly covered with bushes and cave-in or backfilled some near the Palmer mine, which has a lock steel plate. Well, they've put that on since I was a kid and we used to go up there. Do not cross the Palmer claim. Warning us, don't cross the Palmer claim. So don't do that. And be careful around the cave-type entrance to the backfilled old mine in the mountain base, right up on the base of Superstition Mountains. I was unable to clear enough to enter because snakes might be booby-trapped also. Punctuation is everything in these, you know. Upon leaving the area, my partner and I were watched and shot at from a man quite a distance away, and the ground was kicking up around us very quickly as he was getting his distance right. Also, we noticed a black handprint on one of the rocks in that area and some other native markings. So here we go with the black handprints again. And, you know, the mine he's talking about, if it's the one I'm thinking of, you can't see it unless you get right up to the base, and it's on the south side of Siphon Draw and the Palmer mine, and it is there, and I wouldn't even hazard going back in there. But what do you think about, you know, him being shot at and notice a black handprint there?
Not much.
Moving on. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about handprints and things up there that's not real. Now, another one here, and you have something you can share on this, I know. Ted DeGrazia's Millions in Hidden Art updated. And the comment, Arizona Highways from that time says DeGrazia was upset that his children were going to be taxed heavily on his paintings, so he burned some as a protest, mostly drafts and simple things he didn't consider sellable, and hid others as his own lost treasure. I've heard a first-hand story from someone who didn't know about the paintings, who seen a tube lying on the ground near Angel Springs, but didn't bother to investigate because he thought it was trash and he was tired from walking. Well, you know from somebody who was there firsthand when he supposedly hid the tubes, the paintings. Now we know that he burned some. I mean, there's pictures and enough information about that. But as far as the tubes, you know a little bit about that.
Well, the burning took place separately from the supposed burying, and there were several people in that group that went along with DeGrazia, and but they were all up investigating the Indian ruins, and there were only 2 people in camp at that time, and the one that was actually there said he went off to the northwest from the campsite, which was up the canyon a little ways, and turned south carrying the tubes, wasn't gone 15 minutes, didn't have a pick or a shovel, and came back empty-handed. So my theory is that he didn't bury them at all. He hid them in some place he already knew about, because it certainly didn't take very long to do that. Now, today, that place is burnt down again. So if a guy found a tube out there, it probably isn't there anymore.
Well, my feeling is he did it with a witness, and then I think my feeling is he went back up there and took the tubes out.
Well, that might be.
And just so he could create that legend, and no one saw him take them out. I talked to the foundation, the Ted DeGrazia Foundation, and the spokesperson there said, well, first off, I'll clean it up a little bit, but he said he was too cheap a man to put anything of great expense up in the mountains. He said that he didn't even leave much to the foundation, let alone to his kids and all that. So they poo-pooed it. They said that they do get people all the time that call them and say, I found the tubes, I found the paintings. Like you said, not now. If they do, it's with the burning and the fire and all that. I found the paintings, and would you like to buy them? And of course, they never turn up with them, And he says that happens all the time, so people are aware of it. But anyway, my opinion is that he went back up there and got it.
Well, if they were that cheap of paintings, what was the point of going back after them? I think he left them up there. I really do.
Whether they were cheap or not, he wanted to create a legend. That's another thing they told me. They said he was jealous of the Dutchman or Jacob Walls, and he wanted to create his own legend.
Yeah,
up there.
I agree with that.
So whether they were cheap or not, somebody just finding it would be exciting. And of course, he didn't say they were cheap. So if he went back up there and took them out, he wouldn't have to do any digging. He could take them out and nobody would ever find him. Said, it's like the mine, we can't find it.
He would have had to go back up in there on horseback. That's pretty rough country for an old man to be going in.
Yeah.
Just ask me. And I don't think he would go alone. So that kind of destroys the thought of doing it in secret.
Well, whatever, he said that, again, the foundation spokesperson said that if they have been found, they were found by the rangers up there and probably destroyed, as they did a lot of things up there, covering anything up there they could find that would bring people in as treasure hunters and so forth.
Oh, we can go on this forever, but the Forest Service, if they found them, I think they'd want people to know they were found, because they don't want people up in there very much.
I see what you're saying, but on the other side of the coin, their whole point of hiding stuff up there is so people won't go up looking for things. And if they brought the tubes out, there's going to be some idiot that's going to think, well, maybe there's more tubes up there than they found. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he did just exactly what he wanted. He created another legend up there.
Right.
Speaking of legends and stories, the one Ron Feldman did with us on the Adolf Ruth mystery solved. Isn't it always solved? And we were talking about the Killer Mountains here, and one guy, Robert, says, actually, Glenn McGill said the same 2 guys killed Ruth in his book, The Killer Mountains. Now he's talking about Keenan and the other one that took him up into the mountains. And of course, if Glenn McGill said it in his book, The Killer Mountains, it must be fact that they are the ones that killed him. I mean, everything in that book is fact, right? Actually, it's the book that got me up there to begin with. It's a fascinating book, and I did go up into Needle Canyon, and I did find the things they were talking about up there, although they aren't really, you know, there's no mistaking it's what they were talking about, but there's no big iron doors up there and things like they said they found up there. So it is up there. It is exactly where they say it is, and if you get the book, there's a picture with an arrow pointing to right where this prospect is, bottom and top. But yeah, again, it's not all the big to-do that they were talking about, but it's fun to see. This is from Capital Punishment, and he says, Dutchman Mine is on north end of Blacktop Mountain. What's with all the broken quartz that's outside the cave in middle of mountain? You can go in and at dead ends or drop down into lower level that someone has supported with wood. With metal detector, you can go through the broken quartz that slide downside of mountain and find bits of gold. If you go past the 3 red hills, you went too far around and go back.
You see, he said Blacktop Mountain. He said there is a Black Mountain out there, not very far from where he's talking about, and then there's Blacktop Mesa.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing.
So I'm not exactly sure, but I'm familiar with the cave on the south side of Blacktop Mesa. It doesn't go in very deep, but it's quite large.
But it's on the south side.
It's on the south side.
Well, maybe he got confused.
It's the Weaver's Needle Inn where all the diggings were. And that's, you know, it's a little hard to tell direction out there because of the canyons, the way they run. But it's from Weaver's Needle, it is north. Blacktop Mesa is north of Weaver's Needle, and all the diggings are on the south end of the Weaver's Needle end of the mountains.
Well, maybe he got, but it's kind of hard when you got Weaver's Needle right there. Anyway, we get quite a few of those. Here's one from David. Is there any truth the Goldfield owners and friends are pals with the Apache Junction coroner, and for over 100 years and more now, they've placed cadavers all over the wilderness so as to bring more and more crazy people to add to the legend? My dad bought a place across from the Green at Queen Valley, and we found it already, whatever it is. But their belief is that the coroners go out and spread bodies all over the mountains there.
That's interesting, since Apache Junction doesn't have a coroner and never did have one.
Well, so basically it's no coroner, but there's somebody that's spreading cadavers all over that. And Larry, you better stop doing it.
Oh,
you know,
listen.
If there's some cadavers up there, they're crispy cadavers now. Yes. So now, the most controversial that I have found is the one titled "Peralta Mine Found?" ? Now, you know, we give them interesting names because we frankly want people to watch them. Don't take everything we say as gospel, but take everything we say as gospel. In other words, we're not going to lie to you. But there is a question mark there, and I think in the show itself, we explain what we believe this is. And this is the one that you went up to 1958 the first time. And I'm going to read, I'm going to soften the blow for us here a little bit. Patricia says, I live for you all of videos, some much knowledge on history. I just love them all. Spell check is not working here. Knowledge of history, I just love them all. Thank you, Rebecca. Another one is from Christian Man. Love your series, so educational. 60 Seconds says, I'm not sure what that refers to, but my mind runs wild. 60 Seconds, when's the next video coming? Really liking this series. I have watched every video so far. And then Ken says, thanks for all the videos. I appreciate being able to see something besides cornfields and soybeans. And then Olivia Henry, hi Olivia, I know Olivia, says, incredible Arizona history, great video. Now, there's a reason why I'm reading all these, and I'll get to that in a minute. John says, wow, cool stuff. I hope you all go back. Now, this is where we're getting into the hazy things. Did you watch the video? Wow, cool stuff. Thank you, John. I hope you all go back and actually find a way in the hole if you're able to do safely. These gold in these hills, come and get me, come and get me. Okay, so he's saying, I hope you go back and actually go down in. Watch the video. We did go in, or I did, down to the bottom, nothing there. There's kind of a flow that goes off about a foot, and that's it. So I did go up there. This next one is from J Quest. Maybe it's Johnny Quest. I used to watch you when I was a kid, Johnny, but it's J Quest, and he says, Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains, when you're going down to see what's at the bottom. Watch the video. Watch the video, Johnny Quest or J Quest. Slow-mo. Slow-mo says, you didn't bring any rope. How do you expect to get down there? Watch the video, slow-mo. This is my favorite one. Dragon 8001 says, and no one goes down to investigate WTF. I think that means wonderful, terrific fun. Why didn't anyone go down there to investigate? WTF, wonderful, terrific fun. We did. I did. Nothing there. And then David Nettles. Oh, I gave his last name. Well, David Nettles. Hey, David, is this the mine my granddad found? Talking about that prospect. Don't think so, but the map looks like it's in the same area. From what I can see by the maps there are several Peralta mines. I have a map that shows the Peralta treasure room as being at the base of Weaver's Needle. Mystery solved. Yep. It's there, and David's told us so. And now we know his last name as well. But so it's we need to go back. It shows he's got a map. It shows it's right there at Weaver's Needle,
which is hollow.
Yeah, which is hollow. Okay, now Stephen. Stephen says, Charlie, if you go to the top of Hart Tank Road and walk north about 300 yards, on the east side is a ledge that overlooks the valley. I sat there and counted no less than 13 hearts one day. That's why I believe that to be the Valley of the Hearts. Now also up there is a stack of 3 rocks near the edge, which when photographed at the right time of year/day, can be seen the image of an old man sitting down waiting for something. I can show you Don Miguel Peralta's face carved out of rock outcropping near Peacock Springs. That can only be seen at dusk in the winter. And at 1:01 a.m. in the morning. No, he doesn't say that. They can only be seen at dusk in the winter. No comment?
What can I say?
Same guy. Stephen says, Charlie, I see you're in Hewitt Canyon. I know that area quite well. I found the horse in the same vicinity, but a little west of there. So this guy's found everything. Same Stephen. Stephen, we need to get you up there, but we won't go with you. Just, take pictures and send them, please. Now, this is the one that really got to me. After us spending all that time hiking up there, which was supposed to be just a hop, skip, and a jump, Larry, we took about 4 hours to get up there, and no trail, although I'm sure there was an easier way than we took to get there. Get ready for this. What would Jeebus do? Okay. What would Jeebus do? And he says, staged BS. So what he's saying is we staged the whole thing. So what can we do to convince people like that?
It's all green screen, right?
It was all green screen. Your arms, my arms, but yours and especially were all scratched up. That was all green screen.
Oh, I staged that.
Everything was staged. I'm wearing the same shirt, by the way, that I wore going up there. I wanted to do that today, and I like the shirt, and It does have some holes in it, as you can see from the cat claw and stuff, but fortunately nothing that can really be seen on camera. But this is the shirt. Go back, take a look. Staged BS. What do you have to say about that? I mean, in lieu of your arms and all of those things.